Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another ScrawlrBox unboxing. This is the June 2018 ScrawlrBox. I know it's July, I live in Canada, it takes a long time for these things to get to me. So first we have the print. This print is by Loch Ness, a street artist and freelance illustrator from Bristol, UK. There is a website address and I believe a Twitter handle, lochnessart.com and at lochnessart. Go ahead and check out this artist. So for the items in the box, we have the Chameleon color tone pencils. The card says, specially designed double-ended color pencils you flip to blend. These unique artist quality pencils make it easy to blend color and eliminate the hassle of sifting through dozens of pencils to find the right shade. As the right shade is already on the other end, and all you have to do is flip to blend. So we have a flesh tone combination, light coral and soft shell. We have a pinky purple combination, fluorescent pink and hot pink. We have a true purple combination, iris and heather. We have a greenish selection, teal and pine. And we have a blue, midnight blue and cobalt blue. We also have the Faber-Castell Perfection dual-ended eraser pencil. There's a pretty standard pink eraser end for graphite and colored pencil, and a white end that's kind of gritty for ink. Now, I tested these. The pink eraser is your standard pink eraser, kind of like the one you would find on the end of your standard HB school pencil. It does its job. It's not the most amazing eraser, but it works. The ink end, it worked really well for cleaning up smears on the vellum, but it doesn't do that great a job of actually just straight up erasing ink. We have a Zig Writer for Vellum dual-ended marker. On one end, we have a plastic nib that is similar to the Micron PN we got in the previous month's box. And on the other end, we have a bullet marker tip. And this actually does write quite well on Vellum and dries quickly. It does not spear once it has dried. It is waterproof, archival, and light-fast ink. And it's pretty good. I have already started using this elsewhere beyond this challenge. And I like it. Yep. And we also have the Zig Memory System two-way glue. This is an interesting little glue stick pen that works a lot like acrylic paint pens, acrylic paint markers, where you have to press it into the paper and pump it to get stuff to come out. It goes down blue when it's wet and it dries clear. If you attach things while the glue is still wet and looks blue, it will form a permanent bond. And if you let it dry first and then stick things to it, it'll just be a little bit sticky, like a sticker, and it'll be a temporary bond. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't like this glue stick. I did use it in the challenge because the challenge is to use everything, but I don't like it. In terms of paper, they gave us one little A5 sheet of vellum. I ended up using my own vellum, partly because I wanted more than just the one sheet, and partly because the pencils kind of escaped their wrapping a little bit in transport and drew all over the vellum to begin with. And we also got a 10-sheet sample pack of 220 GSM paper from Carolina Gelfi. I believe that's how you say it. It's an Italian company. 5 of the sheets are smooth paper that kind of remind me of cardstock. It's amazingly thick. and 5 sheets of rough paper that remind me of watercolor paper. Now, at 220 GSM, it should be really good watercolor paper, but it reminds me of a pad that I ordered off of Wish that severely disappointed. So, I don't know. It is supposed to be pencil paper, and it does seem to do a good job for pencil. So the challenge for the month is Twisted Reality. The card says, each month we provide you with a selection of art supplies and inspiration, but we also... Yeah, you don't need to read that part. That's what it says every month. At the top of the menu side, it says, this month we want you to explore alternative realities. Use the supplies included to create a twisted version of something. You could use the glue and tracing paper to layer one reality over the other, or create a psychedelic background inspired by this month's featured artist, then add line work to the tracing paper on top. However you approach it, explore your twisted imagination and create something new today. So, what I thought was maybe I could do one of those cute horses touching nose images that every horse lover is familiar with, except one of the horses isn't really there, and then I decided, why does it have to be a horse at all? Why not a unicorn? We're doing twisted realities, right? And then to cover up what would be a crappy, messy looking glue job, putting the vellum over top of the regular paper, then I made a frame to make it even more twisted reality. And at the end of the day, I'm not really sure it ended up being a twisted reality. It kind of reminds me of the goofy little graphics that you would see in 80s and 90s TV shows, like Saved by the Bell and, I don't know, take your pick of any 90s cartoon. And my husband thinks it looks like a greeting card or a birthday card for a kid, which I kind of agree with, so I don't really know that I filled the challenge theme very well, but I definitely did use every supply in the box, and pretty much only the supply in the box. Obviously, I had to use my own light box to do tracing, and I did use a regular pencil to do the sketch at the beginning. I temporarily forgot that I had an eraser pencil and started using my mono eraser, but then I remembered that we had that Faber-Castell pencil, and then I used it exclusively from then on, even though I was really hating how ineffective the pink eraser was, but I used it. So, before doing this challenge, I had never thought to actually color on vellum and lay it over things. I've only really just used vellum for tracing, and when I say tracing, hold your horses here, pun not intended, sorry. I don't mean tracing somebody else's image or tracing a photograph and calling it art. You can certainly do that to practice, and if you do it often enough and really pay attention, you will actually improve. You will start to learn how things are shaped, but don't do that and call it your own art. That's not art, that's just straight up copying something else. What I mean when I use tracing is I do a sketch somewhere else, and then I use vellum to trace it so that I can use the vellum and the paper I want to use on my lightbox to transfer it from the sketchbook to the proper paper to do my finished piece. That's how basically everybody else does it. You trace, or you use a projector. And yeah, that's what I mean. I think that's what ScrawlrBox intended. So at this point in the image, you see me doing all the measurements to make the frame. The way I ended up positioning the horse and the unicorn, I did end up having to trim the page down a little bit, so it's not actually A5, it's a little bit smaller as an end result. You know, even though I don't think this piece really fits with the twisted reality prompt, after all is said and done, I am surprised with how much I like it, because as I was going, I kept thinking I was going to just scrap this and start again, record something else. but I didn't. I kept going with it, mostly because I'm on a time crunch right now, trying to get some stuff filmed ahead of time before I go on vacation, so that I'm not completely panicking when I come back. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I pushed through, because I ended up really liking it. I may have to, for my own sanity, do a Twisted Reality again, but I do like this. Overall, I like the supplies minus the glue stick, and I think this is a really cool prompt. I'm not so sure that they go together. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of the color palette. Like, individually, I like all of these colors, but if I could only pick 5 of these pencils, these are not the 5 I would pick. I mean, like, some of them might have been, but this is not the combination I would go with. Like I said, what I ended up with very much reminded me of the graphics from Saved by the Bell and any 90s Saturday morning cartoon. So the horse that's drawn onto the smooth pencil paper in the background, I went all out getting that background around the horse colored, and I didn't really leave enough. I didn't leave enough not so pigmented area to blend the mane into the background, where the mane is hanging low off the horse's neck. And I think that ended up looking very juvenile and probably contributes to the overall birthday card look that my husband is seeing in the finished product. But other than that, I do like how that horse turned out, even though it has a pink mane, because none of these colors are horse colors, and I colored the body with the flesh colors. The flesh colors themselves could have worked pretty well for a Palomino, maybe. Or maybe if I'd gone really light on it, a Cremello. But no, none of the other pencils are horse colors. So it's a pink Palomino. That's a thing, right? It is now. The unicorn I did with the blues and greens. Or, no, sorry, the blues and purples, and I think it turned out really well. Actually, better than the other horse, because there was nothing colored around it already, because it's going literally on another layer on top. And I really like how that turned out. I'm gonna have to do some other pieces with a vellum layer, or even just coloring on the vellum, and not having another layer underneath, because like I said, I really like this. The only thing I noticed was that when you're doing a lot of work with the vellum and turning it around and making certain parts colored and really smoothed down and pushed into, it starts curling up a lot. So I would have to mount it or frame it or something at the end if I wasn't overlaying it anyway. But yeah, new experience. That's probably the best thing that came out of this box, was getting me to color on vellum and really try vellum as an art paper and not just a tool for transferring. The frame, as I was doing it, I felt like I was calling it in, because they're like the seashells are really, really crappy. And those little like fruit wedge things in the corners, like, what is that? And these stars, like, maybe a child drew them. But, you know, combined with the train wreck of the mane on the background horse, and just the fact that the unicorn is purple and blue, overall it does have a juvenile style to it, and I ended up really liking that. Now, the frame ended up having the most screen time in this video, just because it does have so many pieces. I was really trying to bump up the Twisted Reality factor, and again, I don't really think that ended up happening. It didn't work in my favor, but yeah, I used every single pencil, both sides of them. Tried to showcase how they blend in some of the little doodles. And it turned out well. Again, not sure if this qualifies as twisted reality, but I think it turned out well if you think of it as juvenile 80s, 90s inspired cartoon greeting card. Yeah. It's not something I would have drawn to begin with. These are not colors I would have used for this image. I'll probably never replicate this unless I'm actually trying to make a greeting card for a 9-year-old. But I like it. I am pleasantly surprised. I hated it the whole time I was doing it, and now I like it. Except for the background horse's mane. Wish I could change that. Wish I hadn't glued it all together before I decided I didn't like it, because I probably could have just smudged some more of that background green into there to make it smoother, but no, I didn't think of that until after I'd glued the vellum down. And okay, once that vellum's stuck, it's stuck. So, yeah, as per usual, the video is longer than the things I have to say, so I'm going to let the music take it. As per usual, I will be linking my social media down below, and when my website goes live, I will edit to include the link to that. I will probably actually have the website ready by the time this goes live, but at the time I'm recording the audio, it's not. When the website goes live, I will have a Redbubble store up. If you have any requests for things I have done previously on the channel that you would like to see definitely available as print or a t-shirt or whatever other merchandise, feel free to request something. Please do follow me on social media so you can have updates, and share your art with me. I'm thinking about doing some end card rolls of art that people have shared, and I'd love to see your stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!